Okay, so for the second part of the lecture discussion for biaxial bending, I have here a discussion for the design of purlins. So the design of purlins is actually under case 1 or case 2. So by definition, roof purlins that are part of a sloping roof system can be subjected to a biaxial bending of the type as just described. So as can be seen here in the figure, ano po, so this is an example of a purlin subjected to biaxial bending under case 2. So as you can see, the vertical load is passing through the shear center, but the horizontal component is subjected or passing through here at the top flange, ano po, not at the shear center. So it may experience a bit of a torsion. So, or only half of the nominal moment about the y-axis will be used. Ano po? So this is under case 2, this specific figure. So it can also be under case 1 if the loading is passing through the center of the purlin. Ano po? So it will depend on the problem presented. So always read the given or the problem carefully kasi it is always stated naman po if the loadings are at the top of the purlins or passing through the center of the purlins itself. So ayun, bending about the x-axis is the parallel component, and then the normal ano po, tapos parallel is yung ating bending about the y-axis. So we also have here a elevation of a roof truss. So again, itong mga letter C, this is a C channel, C purlins. Ito kasi example to ng W section as a purlin. Ito naman, this is a C channel as your purlins. Ano po? And this line here is your sag rod. Ano po? Ang purpose ng sag rod natin is to minimize the moment present along the weak axis or our y-axis. Then we also have here yung truss. Siyempre, di ba? As you can see, the purlins are directly on top of the joints of the truss. Kasi ang purlins natin, di ba po? Ang purlins is treated also as a beam. So kung beam to, tapos ito yung edge, siyempre meron niyang reaction. So yung reaction ng beam, ganyan, for example, will be transferred to the joint of the truss as a loading. Ano po? Kaya 'di ba if you will notice when you have a truss, the loadings are point load on the joint. Kasi 'di ba po sabi natin for trusses, they cannot resist rotation or moment. That's why the loading should only be at its joints. Ano po? Yung point load na yan yung reaction ng ating purlin. Ano po? So, ayun. So, for the sagrad naman, again, itong sagrad, ito siya, na po, or itong guhit na to, yan yung sagrad natin. So, again, the purpose of the sagrad is to minimize the moment that is being subjected to the weak axis. Kasi nga, ang weak axis natin has a smaller value of nominal moment in comparison to the strong axis or your x-axis. Ano po? So, if there is a sagrad at the midspan, so again, ang sagrad natin will act as an additional support. So, if you will notice, the maximum moment will, or the moment that will be present on the purlin will be much more smaller. Diba? Yung simply supported with a uniformly distributed load is WL squared over 8 at the midspan. So, pag nilagdagan natin siya ng sagrad sa gitna, so liliit yung moment na ma-receive ng purlin sa y-axis. Magiging WL squared over 32 instead of over 8. Diba? Siyempre, mas maliit ang over 32 sa over 8. So, ibig sabihin nun, pag naglagay ka ng sagrad sa gitna, liliit yung moment sa gitna ng purlin. So, para lang po yung so let's draw a shape. So, kunyari, ito yung ating moment diagram. So, originally, you will have a moment diagram like this. So, ganyan siya, di ba? Moment diagram. Tapos, sa gitna, WL squared over 8. Tapos, kapag naglagay ka ng midspan sagrad, para ka dyan nagkakaroon ng additional support sa gitna. So, instead of a support only here at the end, meron ka dyan sa gitna. So, ang magiging drawing po ng ating moment diagram would be like this. Parang ganito siya. Ayan. Tapos, yung moment mo dito sa gitna will be your WL squared over 32. That's why, as you can see, naka-negative siya kasi negative moment na po yung may experience nung nung Perlin natin. Pero again, definitely a lot more smaller kasi over 32 na siya instead of just over 8. Now, if you want a more smaller moment dun sa Perlin, pwede tayong maglagay ng sagrad at the third points dito sa letter B. So, mas maliit na talaga siya kasi over 90 na instead of over 8, di ba po? So, ayan, this is more on the design. So, if yung Perlin natin is subjected to large loading, para lumiit yung moment to be carried by the y-axis, pwede tayong maglagay ng sagrad sa midspan. Kung super laki talaga ng load and we want it to be safe, pwedeng maglagay tayo ng sagrad at the third points. No? So it will make it experience a much more smaller moment. Ano po? So ayan. So that's all lang naman for the lecture discussion of Perlin. Again, to better understand, we will have here a simple example. So here po, we have to select a section between roof trusses spaced at 4.6 meters on center. So ito daw yung loading, tapos ito yung spacing ng Perlin. Ano po? So ang mangyayari dito is, given this loading, we need to select among these three kung alin ba dito sa tatlo yung kayang mag-carry nung given loading. Kasi di ba po, for steel design, we don't actually design the sections. Maliban sa bearing plate, what we usually do is we select a section that is safe but also economical. No? So pipili tayo dito sa tatlo. So when we analyze, if you are given multiple sections, again, ang key or one of the factor that we want is for it to be economical. So, ang kukunin natin na section first is the one who is most economical, in a sense. So, pipili ka dito sa tatlo kasi 'di ba kapag safe siya, kung yung most economical is safe, syempre yun na agad yung pipiliin natin. So, when you choose, 'di ba po, ang steel actually is priced based on its weight. So, since all of these are W sections, so yun yung magiging basis natin when choosing. So, kung pipili tayo, ito na yung weight niya, 1.2, 1.7, and then 1.9. So, definitely, the most economical among these three is the W6 by 8.5. So, the sections are provided here, so we can actually check it. Ano po? So, I'll be using I will manually compute this, for you to better understand. So we will solve the problem. So ayan, po. So let's continue. So I have pasted here the problem. So given this loading, so ito po yung ating section. So according to the problem, let's see. The spacing of the roof trusses is 4.6 meters on center. So bakit kaya needed yung spacing ng truss? Kasi po, for example na lang, meron kang truss. Ayan, example, simple truss. Ano po? Tapos sabihin natin ito yung kadugtong. Yung purlins po natin is here on top of the joints of the truss. So, ganun siya. So, kung ang spacing ng truss ko is 4.6 meters, therefore, the length also of my purlin is 4.6. That's why it's important that we know the spacing of the trusses because that will give us the length of the purlins. Ano po? So, kahit pa po sabihin nating continuous siya. So, for example, may truss ka pa dito. Ano po? So, another purlin naman yon. Another purlin naman siya. So, parang ito yung end-to-end connection ng mga purlins natin. So, right. So, ganun siya. Ano po? Ang spacing naman ng purlin is yung nakalagay dito, no? Assume the spacing of purlins is 1.4 meter on center. So, ibig sabihin, yung distances naman ng purlin natin is 1.4. So, nakalagay dyan, assume the purlins are fully laterally supported. Ibig sabihin, it will not experience LTB. So, no LTB agad yung MNX natin, di ba? So, we compute your MNX. So, no LTB agad siya. So, let's try to solve ang nakalagay dyan. Purlins, assume all loads passes through the centroid of the purlin. So, nasa centroid daw po dumadaan yung load. Ano po? So, let's write here at the center. Ganito po. Ano? Ayan. So, ito yung W natin or the weight that the section will carry. Then, of course, we have the W at the Y along the Y-axis. Sorry. This is naman your WY. Sorry. WY. And ito naman po yung ating WX. Siyempre, meron tayong angle dito, ano, theta. That theta is the same theta here, no po. So, kung ito yung ating plane, ito yung top ng roof truss, ano, ayan. Andito din po yung ating theta. Ayan. Tapos, sabi sa problem, the slope of the truss is 1:2. Ang ratio po ng truss na 1:2, ibig sabihin yan, rise over run or 1:2. Ano po? So, yan yung ratio ng truss. So, yung mga load na kinikerry niya is provided naman dito sa problem. So, all we need to do is add them. So, as you can see, naka-Pascal po yung unit Newton per meter square. Siyempre, di ba, if we analyze a beam, we want the loading to be a uniform load, not a pressure or Pascal. So, multiply lang natin siya sa tributary width. So, how do we compute the tributary width? 'Di ba? Imagine nyo na lang, 'di ba? This is a recap from your structural theory. Kapag meron kang mga ganito, kunyari, ito yung purlins natin. For you to get the tributary width, 'di ba po, we assume that we get the distances kalahati-kalahati. 'Di ba? Yun yung ina-assume natin, kalahati. So, ito yung ikikerry nung C na to. Ito naman kalahati-kalahati, 'di ba po? So, ganun siya. So, kung ang spacing natin is, this is 1 point, ilan yun? Spacing 1.4, 4 meters. So, yung kalahati ng 1.4 over 2, kalahati naman ng 1.4 over 2, or the tributary width is 1.4 meters. So, dyan lang naman natin siya imumultiply kasi yun yung ikikerry ng isang channel. So, kung gagawin nating 3D, kung nalilito kayo po, parang ganun siya. Ito yung channel nyo. Ayan. Tapos, ito yung portion na ikikerry niya. Ito yung tributary width nung channel. Ano po? So, ito yung channel. Sorry, C purlins pala natin. Ano? Yan. So, di ba? Ganito yung ginagawa natin from your structural theory. Ito yung tributary width. Ito yung pressure na naka 1.4 meters. Pag i-multiply nyo yan dyan, magiging na po siyang uniform load. Ano po? So, again, that is the idea. So, all we need to do now is multiply it with our tributary width that is 1.4 meters. So, I'm going to write here ang ating length ng purlin is the spacing ng roof trusses, which is 4.6 meters. So, to get the weight of the purlins, no? So, ang tributary width natin, lalagay ko na lang dito, tributary width is equal to 1.4 meters. Kasi 1.4 meters yung ano ng... So, una meron tayong snow load, roofing load, wind surface. So, una is snow load, SL. Ang snow load natin is 1440. 1440 Newton per meter square. Ano po? So, 1440 Newton per meter square. Tapos, syempre, multiply natin ng tributary width na 1.4 meters. So, di ba, ano po, makakancel yung meter. May matitirang Newton meter. So, that is the unit that we want because we want a uniform load. We have 1440 times 1.4. We have 2016 Newton per meter. Next is your roof load. So, from the problem, we have 288. Isulat ko muna lahat. 288. Then we have the wind load that is equal to your 720. 720. Again, the units are Pascal, Newton meter square, Newton meter square, multiplied by 1.4 meters. Makakancel yung meter. We will be left with Newton meter. So you have 288 times 1.4, 403.2 Newton meter. And then you have 720 times 1.4 is equal to 1,008 Newton meter. Ano po? Also, do not forget that the snow load, roof load, and wind load are applied load. Ibig sabihin, sila yung i-carry. Pero wala pa po dito yung ating weight of the purlin itself. So, the weight of the purlin is actually here. 1.243. So, all we need to do is just write it. So, yan naman is dead load, di ba po? Dead load is 1.243. This is already Newton meter also. Ano po? So, yan. And then, remember, according to here, yung wind surface daw po is perpendicular to the roof surface. So, kung isusulat ko siya, yung wind load mo, nakaganito na siya. Ano po? Ito yung wind load natin. Ito yung wind. But the snow and then the roof, syempre that is gravitational load. Ibig sabihin, pababa yung direction niya. So, yung wind and then, the snow and the roof load are in this direction. Ano po? So, ibig sabihin, this loading, ito yung magiging resultant natin. Ayan, W. Kasama yung weight nung purlin, syempre, ang direction yan is downward because they are gravitational load. So, we will add them. And then, once we have added them, tsaka natin i-compute yung vertical and then horizontal component. Ano po? So, i-write natin dito. We have W now is equal to the snow load kasi that is a gravitational load plus the roof load because that is also a gravitational load plus the dead load 1.243, a total of 2016 plus 403.2 plus 1.243. We have 2420.443. Na po. So, ayan na siya. Yan yung total W. Again, yung wind load, hindi po siya kasama kasi perpendicular yung direction niya. Hindi siya pababa or downwards. So, okay na to. And then again, di ba, as can be seen here, yung WY nyo is adjacent to theta. So, sine yung gagamitin. While your WX, yung ganitong direction, that is similar to a WX here. Parehas lang yun, di ba? Same direction. So, bale, sine naman siya. Ano po? So, to solve, we have WY is equal to W cosine theta. Tama ba? Ano po? Ayan, di ba? Cosine siya. Kasi katabi or adjacent. Plus, do not forget, no? I-add natin na yung wind load. Ano po? Kasi yung wind load, ang direction niya is the same with your WY. So, tatanggalin ko na tong wind load dyan. Isasama na natin siya. So, plus the wind load. This is equal to, what is your W? 2420.443 times, sorry, we don't have the angle yet pala. So, kung angle naman, madali lang naman i-compute, diba po? So, tangent theta is equal to 1/2 or your theta is equal to arctangent 1/2. So we have 26.56. We have, or 26.6 na lang degrees. Ayan. So, i-recompute na natin yung WY. We have your WY is W cosine theta, 26.6, plus your wind load na 1,008. So, you have 3172.25. 3172.25 Newton meter. Ang WX naman, syempre, is W sine theta. Syempre, yung wind load po, hindi na siya kasama ha. Kasi ito lang yun ha. Itong W, yung X component niya, yun yung WX. Yung wind load natin nandyan, hindi naman siya kasama. So, WX, so W. 2420.443 sine 26.6. So you have 1,083.78. 1,083.78 meter. Ano po? Tapos, syempre, gagamitin na natin. Ang sabi dito is ASD. Ano po, kaya hindi ako nag-multiply ng mga load factor. Pero in case na may load factor tayo, no? For example, this is LRFD, yung wind load natin, may mga multiplier. Yung dead load may 1.2, yung wind load may 1. Ano po? Or ibibigay naman siya, lalong may snow load and roof load ito, nagbibigay yan ng load combination na gagamitin natin. Pero again, since ASD siya, wala po tayong load factor, we're using the service load. Ayan. So, before we move forward pala, so, ilalagay ko dito yung formula ha, para lang alam natin. 'Di ba ang formula ng is MAX over MNX over omega plus MAY over MNY over omega. Ano po? So, yung sinusolve natin ngayon is the requirement ha, yung kine-carrying load. So, solve na natin ngayon. So, meron na tayo nito. Ano po? So, we have MAX. Siyempre, MAX is equal to WL squared over 8. Ano po? Siyempre, ang W natin is, ano yung W? Siyempre, ito po yung W yung gagamitin na. Huwag niyong gamitin to. Ito. Kasi, sige, drawing natin ha, para dun sa nalilito. Kung ito po yung beam nyo, ano po? Ayan, kunyari siya yung beam. Ang magkukos ng failure na pag ganito, ito yung failure sa x-axis eh. Pag ganito siya, magbe-bend yung beam mo pag ganon. Di ba, bababa siyang ganito. Ito yung bending about the x-axis. Ang magkukos niyan is itong load mo dito. Ano po? And that is your WY. So, yun yung gagamitin natin. Ano po? That is for your, sorry yan. Ay, yan. So, ano po? So, ang gagamitin natin na W is yung WY. So, lalagay natin WY is 3172.25 times, ang x natin is 4.6. Yan yung haba ng purlin divided by 8. So, we'll have a moment of 8390.6. That is Newton meter. Naka-Newton meter tayo ha, kasi Newton yung unit. Siyempre, i-divide nyo yan ng 1,000 para maging kilonewton. Kasi naka-kilonewton meter tayo dapat para uniform. So, this will be 8.39 kilonewton meter. So, I will highlight this one. So, ito yan, MAX. Ito na lang. So, ito po siya, MAX. Ito naman yung 8.39. Ano po? Ayan, 8.39. MAX, okay na tayo sa MAX. Next naman, MAY. According to the problem, we are using sag rods provided at the midpoints. Ano po? So, di ba, kanina, we already established that pag nasa midpoint, we have WL squared over 32. Ang gagamitin naman natin ngayon is yung WX. So, bakit? Sige, try nating mag-draft ulit ng drawing. Kasi po ulit, pag meron kayong beam, ganyan. Ang magkukos ng bending about the y-axis is kapag meron kang load dito. So, pag may load ka dyan, ito yung ating WX, di ba? Ang tendency ng beam ko is gaganito siya. Ano po? Ayan. Mag-bend ng ganito ngayon yung beam mo. Ito na ngayon yung failure about the y-axis kasi magkakaroon siya ng lateral movement. Ano po? So, isa-solve na natin. Ang W niya ngayon is yung nakalateral, ano po? Ay, sorry. Ito po yung kanyang load, WX. So, bali ang mangyayari, we have WX is 1083.78 times the length 4.6 squared over 32 kasi nasa mid-span. You will have 716.65. Now, i-divide din natin siya ng 1,000 kasi naka-Newton meter ulit yan. Sulat ko lang 716.65 Newton meter. Siyempre, divide nyo ng 1,000 para maging kilonewton meter. So, 0.717 na lang. 0.717 kilonewton. Sorry, the unit kilonewton meter. Ano po? Kilonewton meter kasi this is moment. Ayan. 39. So, 0.717. Oh, okay na din to. So, ang kulang na lang po is MNX tsaka MNY. Again, ang MNX natin, nakalagay na po sa problem na, basahin natin. It has a fully laterally supported. Ibig sabihin niya, no LTB. So, solve na tayo, no? For MNX, nakalagay no LTB. So, therefore, your MN is equal to MP. Now, pag ganito po yung loading, na about X and Y axis siya, tapos we assume it to be simply supported, ang CB po natin is equal to 1.30. Na po. So, yung MN natin is equal to FY ZX. Ano po? So, yung MP, sorry, MP is FY ZX. So, diretso ko na. So, ang FY po natin is A36 still. Ayan, 248. So, 248 times your ZX na 93900. Ayan, equal to 232872. Ayan po So, bale. Tapos, yung CB pa pala. Sorry about that. So, multiply natin siya with CB. Ano po? Giging siyang MN. Do not forget the CB. So, times 1.3. Divide ko ng 10 raised to 6 kasi naka-Newton meter yon para maging kilonewton meter. We will have 30.27 kilonewton meter. Ano po? So, yan na yung ating MN. No? So, MN, okay na tayo. MNX. O, MNY naman. So, for MNY, nakalagay na po doon na, pwede, wala pa lang nakalagay kung compact or not, So, I'm sorry, yun dapat yung inuuna. So, check natin. Check classification. Dali lang naman, di ba? BF over 2TF is equal to, meron naman yung BF 100.076 over 2TF 2 times TF na 4.28. You will have 10.15. Tapos, siyempre, 0.38 square root of EFY natin. 0.38 times square root of E divided by FY na 248. 10.79. So, syempre, less than siya. Therefore, it is compact. Ano po? So, compact siya. So, ibig sabihin, ang gagamitin natin is MNY. So, MNY is equal to FYZY should be less than or equal to 1.6 FY SY. So, check natin. FYZY 248 times your ZY na 25600. Again, titingnan nyo po yung table ha. Is equal to 6.35. Divide 10. Divide 10 raised to 6. 6.35 yan. Tama. 6.35 kilonewton meter. Siyempre, check natin siya sa 1.6 times 248 times SY na 16551. Divide 10 raised to 6. 6.50. So, this is less than 6.57. Ano po? So, therefore, okay siya. Ano? So, okay to. Siselect natin siya. So, yan yung gagamitin natin for your MNY. Ano po? So, okay na tayo. Now, all we need to do is substitute it using this equation. No? So, lagay na natin siya. Diretso ko na. MAX, 8.39 all over. Ang MNX natin is 30.27 divided by 1.67 plus ang ating MAY which is 0.717. Sorry, I forgot. Tama. Since nasa centroid po siya, wala tayo ditong 0.5 or over 2. Ano po? Wala tayo niyan kasi nga nagpa-pass through sa centroid yung ating load. Now, 0.707 ang MNY is 6.35 divided by 1.67 kasi yun yung ating omega. So, ang lalabas is 0.65. Ano po? So, kung 0.65 siya, ibig sabihin correct yung ating answer. So, i-copy ko na lang to. Ano po? Duplicate. And then, I'm going to edit here. Ayan. Sorry about that. Ito na. Nakasolve din natin siya kanina. Ayan. So, therefore, the answer here is 0.65. That is definitely less than 1.0. So, use W 6 by 8.5. Tama ba? Yan. So, this is now your design. Ano po? So, ibig sabihin, section W6 by 8.5 is enough to carry the given loading. So, ma'am, paano po pag hindi siya enough? Kunyari, more than 1 yung sagot, ibig sabihin, you need to redesign or recheck. Kung greater than 1 to, so, ibig sabihin mali siya. So, itatry mo naman ngayon yung W6 by 12. So, check mo siya kung enough. Kung enough siya, ito yung gagamitin. Kung hindi ulit, tatry mo naman yung ibang section. Ano po? So, that is how we design your purlins. Again, first, you need to identify first muna yung load. So, dapat alam natin kung saan siya nagpa-pass through. Sa center ba or hindi? Okay po. So, that concludes our lecture discussion.